Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie, where today Lolo is here.
Hey.
Hey, Robert. Robert is here. Robert got a cheat sheet, folks. Y'all see it? He got a cheat sheet. I don't know what's on. I'm sorry, Richard. Yeah, Richard. No wonder he didn't say anything. It's Richard Lofton. I don't know why I said Robert, because I know better. I know. I was thinking about Robert Jones. Y'all call him Robert Jones. And I was just putting in my notes here that Robert Jones needed to be fired. How you doing, Dice Man?
I'm good, bro.
Folks, Dice Man came here today. He wasn't even prepared.
I'm always prepared.
He didn't have anything with him. He said, we need to wait Thursday. We said, no, we done put it off 3 times. We're not putting it off anymore. Now, that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. Dice Man, how you doing today?
I'm good, bro.
You had some things that you wanted us to look at, and we did look at them things, but let's talk about a little thing, how the president is firing folks, how he's still in denial, and let's just talk about the wonderful job that we're going to say President-elect Joseph Biden is doing. He has a very diversified cabinet already. Matter of fact, he's a white guy, but he's already done hired more black people than our first black president. Dice, you got something to say about that?
All right. Yeah, this is funny. First of all, he's not the president-elect. The president has not conceded.
That does not make
Wait a minute, listen to me. I'm going to say my part.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you
the president has not conceded. So he's not the president yet. They're still recounting the votes. They're still dealing with the legal issues involving this whole thing. So therefore, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And we'll just see what happens.
Sorry to say, Dice, Joe Biden is the president-elect. Matter of fact, both sets of Donald Trump lawyer quit on him today.
And lawsuits have been dropped.
Boo-hoo.
So that you probably hadn't been keeping up with the news, Dice. And that's not what he's the president-elect because he has won. A person does not have to concede because I guarantee you he probably won't concede. But guess what? I guarantee you come January the 20th, his ass is up out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say something right quick. You guys are watching Fox, NBC, MSNBC.
I don't deal with Fox.
Well, I'm just throwing some names out there. You're watching mainstream media. I dare you to go watch Newsmax, NTD, one of these other channels that's showing you accurate news, because it's accurate that he's not president yet. Our emotions, people out dancing, celebrating, but he's not the president yet. Matter of fact, even if he was called to be the president, it doesn't start till next year.
And you're right, he's not the president. We didn't say president.
We said president-elect.
We said president-elect.
Right.
He's elected to be the president come January 20th.
Not as long as they're
And check this out,
lawsuits.
bro.
But we're not going to get into an argument about that. I mean, we'll take that. I said my side, y'all said y'all side.
I watched Newsmax, and they actually reporting the same thing. NBC and CBS. I watched Newsmax.
That's
They
not
like
true.
they like the brother of NBC and CBS. I watched Newsmax too.
Okay, so we'll say this for the people. When the show is over with, go turn to Newsmax and see if they say.
Well, when we go to break, y'all can go do that then, and then y'all answer us. So some of you out there that had that ability, look at Newsmax. But here's what I like to say this. The irony in all of this is that then anybody do any of these things last year. And even though Hillary Clinton didn't concede, she still said that Donald Trump was the president-elect. And I'm using my vernacular for that. And everybody always said, you don't have to concede. Either you win or you lose. Okay, now, like a fight. Let's say we're fighting, a championship bout, and I get knocked out. Well, I can say, look at Deontay Wilder. He's saying that the man had rocks in the glove. He's doing Donald Trump thing. He's in denial. He got knocked out, and he lost his title. And so either you win or you lose. He don't have to ever admit to being a fair fight, but he still lost. And all the things that Donald Trump is alleging, nobody alleges those things. And in my opinion, Hillary Clinton had more of an argument than he has.
Absolutely.
And she did not. She did the honorable thing. And Dice, the irony in all of this, I just got to tell you this. It's really ironic that you're taking this position. And we don't, and how can we elevate one news organization above another? We gonna listen to the type of. See, I don't listen at Fox because I don't like their point of view. I like to watch CNN, and that's what everybody do. We go and listen at the kind of news that we gonna agree with. If we don't want to hear it, if I'm not gonna agree with it, I don't even want to be around it.
But I say that.
And I look at Newsmax as not being a reliable news source, but they basically been saying the same thing to other news.
But let me say this: my position is different from what you just said, and a lot of people do handle things that way. They go and they check things out based on what they like. I'm coming from a neutral, truthful standpoint.
So are we.
I understand.
But that's your truth.
But that's where I'm coming from, and it's unbiased in any kind of way. I guarantee you, it's unbiased in any kind of way. So the reason I'm taking that stance is because let's just say somebody decided to play a game with us based on our emotions, based on the fact that we think we're naturally tied to Democrats. We think the minute we're born, we're supposed to be Democrats. And I'm not a Republican, just to answer that question for anybody.
But you lean toward Republican.
No, listen to me. If somebody has decided that, okay, these people are going to vote Democrat no matter what, whether they get some or not, this is what they're going to do. So we don't have to do anything for them. They'll blindly go vote for us. Then it's up to people like me and really you as the audience to make that not be true. And the way you make that not be true is by standing on truth, having some integrity. So with me, I'm not easily led. That's just how that go.
No, we're not saying you're easily led, but here's the thing about Democrat versus Republican. I have yet to hear you say one negative things about the Republican Party. What have the Republican Party done for you, Dice? Absolutely zero.
Okay, well, let me answer that for you. Let me answer that for you. I just said I'm not a Republican, but I didn't say anything negative about the Republican Party last year either, or the year before that, or the last voting term. So it's not about the Republican Party. It could have been a Democratic candidate going through this same thing, and I'm going to take that neutral standpoint because I always want to walk a certain path, and the only way for me to navigate that path is coming from a neutral, unemotional, unprideful standpoint.
No, ain't nobody emotional about this, but still, again, you have yet to say anything negative about the Republican Party. You only talking down on the Democratic Party. And I'm gonna tell you this too, Eddie Hope. Not only Republican voted for Joe Biden this time around. You have Republican that's sick and tired of that foolish, that clown inside the Oval Office putting on, this puppet show he putting on. They even voted against his racist ass. It just wasn't Democrat that voted for Joe Biden. It was a Republican. Some of them conservative Republican voted against him.
But you had people who went to both sides, who crossed up on both sides based on whatever their issues were.
I have yet to hear.
But I didn't say anything negative about the Democrats either. What I spoke of is that we are majority led by the Democratic Party.
That's not true.
Okay, all right.
That's not true. Because don't you remember the year that Chris McClansman, I call him Chris McClansman, I don't call him Chris McDaniel. Him and Thad Cochran ran against each other. There was a Democrat opponent in that race. You know what we went out there and done, Eddie Hope? We went out there and we voted for Thad Cochran because we weren't going to stand a chance Chris McClansman getting in that seat. Did you recall that right there?
Yeah, I remember that, but I think
he's a Republican, just so you know.
And I'm on this site with Newsmax, and Newsmax, everything they say basically is condoning what Donald Trump did. They put his 10 out there. They're not saying anything. Trump, California vote by mail plan will yield rigged election. So Newsmax is reporting things like that. So they have a biased point of view more so than Fox News. And I'm looking at it, and I just picked that out, but I'm on here looking for things, and you probably could Google that. But here's what I say again, that any of us can pick a news media to watch and look at to basically, so Dice told y'all to go to Newsmax. I'm going to say go to CNN. So if he can tell you to go to Newsmax, and Newsmax don't say one thing, go to CNN and see what CNN say. And I got to say this one more thing, and then I'm going to give the floor to Dice. We're in a majority. This is a democracy here. This is not an autocracy. It's not a dictatorship. This is democracy where the majority rule. So the majority of the news media is saying that Donald Trump Biden is president-elect. The majority is saying that, so we got to go along with that. If we just pick one to say he's not, I didn't even see what they say it was or it wasn't because I didn't have enough time to look at that. But all the news media that I've looked at, including Fox News, who's very conservative, says that Joseph Biden Jr. is president-elect.
Okay, well, I'll answer that by saying that I don't agree with that. Majority does not rule. We had this test, a lot of us, when we were in high school. And that test was that if I told you something and then I whispered it in your ear and I had you to tell the next person what I told you and the next person told you, it changes. So a majority of news outlets can give out the wrong information, especially if they're owned by the same owner. And we know that that's happening. So again, if you say what I'm pointing out is not right, I say what you're pointing out is not right, how do we get down to the bottom line? How do we get down to the truth? I say we have to have a neutral standpoint of what is versus what is not.
I accept everything you said. You said it very slow and very careful. I don't agree with that. They was doing that same thing when I was in, the first time I did that, I was in the 2nd grade. It just shows how news get lost in translation. But I think the comparison analogy is totally different. I think you're in error there, because one thing they're doing is they're reporting the same exact thing, and they have what you call libel. If they lie, then they can be held liable. That's libel. Slander is when you say something about someone, but when you write something and it's not true, they saying he's president-elect, and we know that. And he got the majority of the vote. Not only he has the electoral college, and he has the popular vote also. So we can see that and those numbers are the exact same numbers on all of the channels, including Newsmax. And I just threw that in there too, but don't ask me, don't say nothing about it. I didn't read that. I just threw that in there. I'm just assuming that if I went to Newsmax, they would report the same news, like how many votes that he got and how many got in electoral college. And it's really an embarrassment, because when you take and I want you all to think for yourself. But it's an embarrassment when we have a president that wants to do what he wants to do. And they have enabled him by allowing him to do exactly what he wants to do. And I got to say this about Joseph Biden. And I thought, and I know you made reference to him being about Jim Crow Joe, but Jim Crow Joe ain't Jim Crow Joe now. You can look at he's more of a leader, and he's reaching out to everybody, more so than Barack Obama, our first half white, half black president.
I think a little bit different on a lot of things. I can act like I'm being one thing, but later on you'll find out the truth. When we put person in position, everybody was concerned about putting person in position, basically. Once he got in there, they was trying to keep him from out of his position, even money that they had to put aside for him to use. They give him that money to use however he was supposed to use it, however he wanted to, pretty much.
You talking about the mayor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like once someone give you something, they want to try to control it. If they can't control it, they're going to slander you any kind of way they can. That's just the way people are. It has nothing to do with color. This is the way people operate. Money and power. That's everybody in those high positions, money and power. They're not concerned about nobody but themselves and their family. I don't care what they do or what they say. This is the way they operate. For instance, I'll go back to Dustin Marker. Give him a job. High-paying job. Good job. It was a game. He didn't realize it was a game. He didn't realize it was a game until he could not perform their duty to become mayor. Then he realized it was a game. They played a game on me. They have always done this with poor people. Has nothing to do with color. They will buy you, try to scare you, or even kill you to get what they want. And they will kill their own kind. Their own kind. Power, money. Has nothing to do with color. This is the way the people operate in this country. To me, America, lying, murdering thieves. That's what I see America as. Has nothing to do with color. If you go along with the money, power, position, you okay. If you don't, you're nothing to them. That's the way I see life.
And I agree with you on that. I don't disagree with that at all.
When he said person, the money they give him first, what money you talking about when he campaigned?
No, they gave person some money when he became mayor. something like $90-something thousand to use. He used it to have some kind of little program. They questioned him about that money. Well, where's the money coming from? He said, it came from me. You all gave me this money to use, and that's what I'm using it for.
Who giving him the money?
I guess the board of supervisors or the council or whoever. They have a certain amount of money set aside for the mayor to use.
Oh, okay. That's like buy paper and stuff he need in his office or whatnot. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about somebody gave him some money when he was running.
Oh, no.
But I got to say this. This is the country that we live in. God forbid we don't live in Iran or Iraq or any of those other countries that, like Putin. If you can look at what Putin has done, Trump is trying to do the exact same thing with this country here by staying in power, ignoring the rules that we have already in place. This is a democracy, but not only that, every society, every community, every household have rules. That's how, if you don't have rules, it's going to create chaos. What Donald Trump is a master of is creating chaos. He's been lying all his life. He's lying about his wealth. He's lying about who he is, what he is. And he knows he's trying to stay in power because once he's been hiding behind that office in order to protect himself and shield his corona to do the exact same thing that you just finished talking about. That's lying, stealing, looking out for his own family. Look, he's the only president that brought his children aboard. No other president has done that. And so it is time for us to end this. It's time for us to get back to the way this country's supposed to be. Because if we allow for him to continue doing that, Dice, Richard, Lolo, Loretta, if we allow for him to continue doing it, imagine what this country will be like when your children, your grandchildren get to be even your children's age.
Let me ask you something. So you can see all of that with Trump.
Yes, I can see. No.
But wait a minute, listen to
Okay, I'm listening to your
question. So you can see all of that with Trump, but you can't see that with Joe? I'm just asking.
No, I cannot. But not just Trump. It's not just Trump. Trump allowed for a lot of people who had been being political correct. They'll come up in your face and they'll smile and they'll go places with you and do things with you. All the same time they're digging a ditch for you, or they hate you, or they don't like you, or they wish you would have stayed in Africa or stayed in slavery. Donald Trump made it so people like Lindsey Graham and the other person from Mitch McConnell can actually be and say and do what they want to do, showing no respect to females at all. Definitely not black people. Going back to the Constitution, and I agree with you, the Constitution didn't free us. What they did is the 13th Amendment to the Constitution did not free us. What they did is they rewrote the book on how we could be enslaved, and that's what they started doing. You know, it was illegal until they got down to the fine print. At the bottom of the fine print, they say unless you go to the jail or prison, that's when you can still be a slave, and that's what they started doing. But yes, I see all that. I see Donald Trump enable. It's just like everybody that believe in Christianity. Jesus Christ is the thing that everybody look at in order to believe in that. Donald Trump is everybody. They look at him as being the leader of everything that I just mentioned. They look at him, he's the poster boy for this. And so that's why I see Donald Trump. I see all that with Donald Trump, and I don't see it with Joe Biden. And those people going to have to go back and start hiding their true feelings with Joe Biden, and I prefer it that way.
Let me ask you this, Dice. Do you listen to Paula White?
No.
Okay. I listened to a few of those video clips that you posted down up on the link, Dice. And it seemed to me that you was cherry picking. You have the same exact guy doing the exact same thing, trying to change the narrative to Donald Trump liking. But if you actually take a closer look to what that guy is saying, Donald Trump not one time condemned white supremacists. Not one time. Even in the footage you showed on this screen last week, he did not condemn white supremacy. Just this past weekend, he had the Proud Boys right there in front of Washington, D.C. as he drove through in his motorcade on his way to golf. Don't spend up millions of dollars playing damn golf. If he ain't playing golf, he on Twitter tweeting and shit.
And not one black person. I searched too, brother. I look high, I look low. I went to Washington, D.C. And I looked, and I was hiding because I was with the other people. You didn't know I was there. But I did not see one white. I did not see one black person. Everybody that was white.
I didn't
say something in itself.
I didn't see one black person. I didn't see not one.
And here's what we don't need. Donald Trump don't need nobody to take up for him. He don't need anybody to protect him. and I see too much of that going on.
Well, let me answer Lolo's question. I don't know which video you looked at. There's several videos, but I believe it's the first one where he's saying over and over again.
But you had the same guy. You had that same
now,
guy.
I saw that, Dice. It was the same
guy,
all
same
3
guy.
videos. It was about the same guy.
Well, let me explain to you, because the only thing you're doing is changing who's telling it. That's all. But wait a minute. Let me finish.
No. Let him speak.
Okay.
What I did when I researched was, did he say certain things? Did he not say certain things? And I knew that once I saw it, I spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday doing this research. I knew once I saw it, I said, I know somebody else had to have seen this the way I see it, because there are people who do have integrity. I'm not saying people who don't see it this way don't have integrity. I know how emotional and prideful people can be, and they feed off of whatever the media feeds them. So I found this guy that did the research the same way I did. He just so happened to put the videos together. So once I saw the videos, I say, okay, well, this will kind of give the people an idea of what I'm talking about. And then if they want to go a little further, go back to the original clips, they can do that. So that's where that came from. It doesn't matter to me who the messenger is. I just want to get to the truth.
It mattered to me when it's the best. When you speaking of integrity, my integrity and morals are very high. I mean, so high. People like this guy that you showed in this clip, he can't even fool me. It takes somebody with a low IQ to even fall for something like this. And we speaking of integrity. Now, if you had any integrity, you would have went and pulled the actually clip of what Donald Trump said. You would listen to the whole entire video, and just not just a small snip of it. Since you talking about integrity, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I showed you the video today.
And I did. And I want to say this too, Dice. Is that I had someone in my family did a term paper, and I'm not gonna call their name. And too bad, don't get me to talking so fast and I say whether it's a male or female. You know how you always be in my head, so get out my head. But anyway, they got a 79 on the paper. And the reason why they got a 79 on the paper, because they did not cite enough sources. They wanted 7. And anybody out there been in school, you do term papers, you do things like that, I have, you got to have enough source. You cannot just use one source. And I said that to say this, Dice. You can't not use just one source. It doesn't matter about the truth. Professors and everybody all over America, and anybody out there that been in school, whether it's high school or college or anything, know that you got to cite more than one source in order to give anything that you're trying to substantiate validity.
Well, let me say this. We're not doing a book report.
But the same thing applies. It's the same thing applies.
I don't agree with that. And the reason why I say that is because if that's the case, then you're not dealing with the message. You're dealing with who's giving the message at that point.
I can say the
What
same.
about the material? Did you look at the material that the guy was presenting? Now, to answer Lolo, let me answer one more thing. To answer Lolo's question about that.
I just sent you some on Facebook so you can check it out.
But I want to say something. Can you pause for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Folks, I want you guys to get in on this, and I want you guys to leave your comments, because we don't want to just keep going back and forth here. We want you guys to get in on it and give us some comments and everything. And I agree with you, but you took one. My point is that you took one source. But it's a lot of media source out there saying something totally opposite from that. And then also they'll point out that Donald Trump did say these things and did say these things. It's just like the Bible. And I say this all the time. You can take the Bible and you can argue any argument. So you can take any magazine and they do that all the time. They cherry pick messages. Too bad, don't you say, now, yes, I do that sometime. And I admit it this time, but I ain't admitting it no more. But anyway.
Well, let me correct
Go ahead.
I didn't just take one source. The links I put in the video are from at the bottom of your video from 2 weeks ago. Those are from one source. Now, you guys saw the rest of the material, so you know that all that's not coming from the same source. But to answer that question about the original clip, the reason why I did it that way is because this is only an hour show. We can't go back and possibly look at every debate, every 10-minute clip. The people will start watch. So we have to do this for the sake of the show. That's why I did them like that.
And it just so happened to fit your narrative.
I didn't.
But here's the thing.
I didn't make it up. I don't know this guy. I didn't call him.
You don't know him, but he's just like you. He loves Trump.
Well,
he
that
loves
tells
Trump.
you that I don't love Trump.
He one-sided. He loved Trump.
Well, I don't love Trump. The only thing I did was found the information.
I haven't seen one negative thing you said about Trump as yet.
I
Okay,
think
but do I have to
what,
say something
yeah,
negative?
You talking down the Democratic Party? I'm a Democrat.
No, I didn't talk down on him. I don't have to say nothing negative about either party.
Yeah.
I'm just simply talking about information. That's
it. And that's what it is.
What I'm saying is, I haven't heard him say one positive thing about the Democratic Party. But he refused to say something negative about Trump. Just like Trump refused to condemn white supremacy.
But he didn't say anything positive about Trump either, did he?
That's right.
He ain't say nothing negative about him.
I think again, it's about information.
It's like people that Democrats and you know, and look at things and see things, hear things for the way that it is. We have low integrity according to Dice.
Of that two belt and folks out there in podcast land, good cop, bad cop.
But check this out though. The video I showed you this morning is only 1 minute. Yeah. I'm pretty sure people out there in cyberspace land don't mind hearing this 1 minute clip of Donald Trump himself refusing to condemn white supremacy.
Here's what I like to say out there. I think everybody already have their mind made up about their feelings about Donald Trump. And what we have on this podcast that we want you to be able to, we want to inform you. Lolo don't inform you, and Dice inform you, and Richard has informed you. But we all can agree that we still want things to be better for us more so than anybody else. And the community, we care about the community, but you see 4 black people here, and we're diversified. But we want things to be better for us first, really, because things are worse for us. But we got to do more. We can do better, and we can do better.
All right, I just want to say one more thing, because I don't want people to get confused. For me, it's not about being against you guys. It ain't about being against the Democratic Party.
You want to inform
people. It's about the people getting the information. So I challenge any of your listeners.
I do too. I challenge you.
Wait a minute, listen. I challenge you to go back to week before last video and look at the links in the bottom. The very first video, you're gonna see Donald Trump condemn white supremacy.
He did not. He did not.
Okay, well, it's there.
If y'all will look on the Low Allen page, scroll down my timeline, I post the video, the clip in the 1 minute debate between him and Joe Biden. You will hear Donald Trump did not condemn white supremacy. That is a lie. He did not.
He was struggling. I mean, it would have been easier to grab a pig and grease it and catch it before you could get Donald Trump.
He even asked the moderator, "What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?"
But we ain't got to look at all. It doesn't matter whether or not Donald Trump condemned white supremacy or not, folks. You know why? Because you can look at his track record. He has never done anything really if it did not benefit Donald Trump. He doesn't have any respect for women, and he does not care for people of color. And it doesn't matter whether you're Spanish or black. He doesn't care for immigrants at all. And for him to be an immigrant, and believe it or not, like Farrakhan said, you know, we all immigrants. The Native Americans, they living on reservations. Those are the original owners of this property. They were here.
You know, another thing I understand, these Republicans saying that they pro-life. They're against abortion. But every time you see here telling the racist ass cop killing up the black on African American citizen, black female or black male, I don't never hear the conservative Republicans claim to be so pro-life speaking out against it, including Donald Trump.
They're not pro-life. They don't want us to kill our children because they want us to.
They want to grow up and kill them for. They want to kill them.
Well, what they want, they don't care about them killing us. What they want is what you have in America, what you call Industrial Reserve Army. These are people that are unemployed. They want to keep us in that because when we go into that, we're the ones that end up in the Department of Correction. So they want to keep us unemployed, uneducated, so they can continue to pack the prisons with us. That's what that's all about. If they make abortions legal, then a lot of people be going, you know, you can Medicare pay for it and things like that. And so a lot of people be having abortions. A lot of people of color have abortions. And so then
white folks do too now.
Yeah, but they ain't putting white folks in prison like they putting us in. That's what
No,
I'm
they
trying
not, but they have abortion too.
Yeah.
But the only saying they act as if black folks are the only one that have abortion. I remember when I was in high school, little Betty and Becky and little Holly, they stayed leaving during lunchtime to go and have that abortion. They come back with a flat stomach. You won't ever see a baby, but they come back with a flat stomach, so they don't went and flush their child down the toilet. I remember a time at a prom, a girl left out the dance floor.
It's not.
What I'm saying is the same thing they trying to accuse black folks as being baby killer because they have an abortion.
That's right.
White folk have it too.
But that's not just.
And it's not like it's not like that they actually care about black baby being aborted when hell officer killing black folks up every day and these motherfuckers won't say shit. That's my point.
And your point is well taken. And again, the abortion is the reason. Folks, you got to tie this in. In this community here, there's nothing for us to do. When I say us, I'm talking about black people. There's nothing for black people to do. There's nothing for our children to do here. And that's by design, because of idle mind is the devil workshop. When you don't have anything to do, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to end up in the penal system. You're going to end up paying restitution money you don't have, which create a cycle of going back and forth to jail. Because if you can't pay your PO, you're not going down there. And that happened to us more so than it happened to anybody. And so they end up getting revoked. They end up going back to prison. You understand this. All prisons in America is just about. I think some states like California is doing away with that because sending people to jail for profit is just not a good thing, because the people that are sending you to jail are the ones that own stock in it.
Sure.
And a lot of people around here own stock in those. That I'm even told now.
I know a few blacks.
I was told that the Young family owns stock in and I was told that. I ain't never seen that, but I was told that the Young, that's Judge Young Graham and Representative Charles Young, own stock in private prisons that are here in the state of Mississippi. So if they're making money off that, and I don't know whether or not that's true, Chuck, but that's what I was told now, so I can say what I was told, but he's not the only one. So you have these bougie black folks or the uppity black folks or the rich black folks or the well-to-do black folks that own stock. Just like back in when slavery was legal, you had black folks that own slaves. So you have black people that own stock in these private prisons. They're not going to send their children to prison. They're going to send their children to college. They're not going to send their neighbor's children. They're going to send the poor kid that doesn't not able to get the education and shooting each other up. And so, again, it's our responsibility. Now, that's where we come in at. And what we can do is we can change this system here. We can unelect Percy Bland. We can fire his ass, just like we just fired Donald Trump. We can fire Percy Bland. We fire Percy Bland. We get rid of his administration. Then we can bring a new administration in, and we can start doing things. We can make if our children have somewhere to go and something to do, then that'll make crime go down, and it won't affect other people in the community that have somewhere to go and something to do, that have the resources to go to other cities or go to Hype. Everybody can't go to Hype. It's $24 to go up in there. $15 if you don't want to ride the go-kart. It's $24 to go in there. What parent can do that? Do you know if any parent can do that? Most parents, we're going to say the average family has at least 2 children, so that's $50. That's a water bill. It's half on the water bill because the water is high around here. And here's what I propose, Lo, and we're going to go to break after this. Here's what I propose, folks. I propose that we change out this administration. The reason why this administration is a failure. They went up on things like basic needs, like we need like water and sewage. That need to come down. They need to separate the two. We need to improve our school system. COVID is bad, but it's worse when our children are going to a school system that's a failing school system. You understand, if our children, they want this. They want our children to fail in school. If they didn't want that, they'll fire Amy Carter. If they didn't want that, to have a principal that has a D, even D's need to go. And I agree with that person. I forgot who told me that. I said put a D. They said C need to be on probation because our children are smart. Don't you have smart children in your family?
Absolutely.
They make A's, don't they? Dice, am I right? Yeah. So a C is, our children are not average. So our children, they need us passing this. A C should be on probation. It's okay, it's acceptable, but you need, if they raise the bar, then we'll do better as a community. But we got a lot of people that's going to fall by the wayside. We have people that don't fail by the wayside from the, the school to prison pipeline.
You know, the reason why our children are smart, because we help our kids outside of school.
That's right.
We help them outside of school. Marine Public School System have majority not even certified teacher, have Kelly service.
That's right, and we need to do away with that.
Your kids ain't getting the proper. Well, the damn folks leaving here going out to make more money.
We got to pay them more. They're not going to pay more, and they're doing that to our children. You don't know if any others. I don't know if anybody else is doing what Marine Public School is doing. Having somebody teach your children that are not certified to be a teacher. Wow, man, that's bad. Well, Dice, man, we're going to go to break right now. Anything you want to say, Richard?
No, I'm learning a lot just by being here and listening. I learn more by listening and reading mostly. And to me, it's very important what is being said here to help the community to learn to pull yourselves together and work together to build your own selves. You have to get your own to be better.
Well, we don't need to have this discussion anymore about Donald Trump. I don't think so, but we can talk about that. Dice said, Dice licking his wounds over there. He breaking Tommy.
He won't hit lick back. He won't hit lick back.
It ain't over, baby.
It ain't over, Dice. Thursday. Is it next Tuesday we going to do this or Thursday?
He won't hit lick back.
I think we're going to do it Thursday. I think we're supposed to have Tavio here or Lindemann coming.
Nothing better. He's supposed to come, but he can come.
Yeah, let him come.
Yeah, he come. We still can do this.
Right.
Well, anyway, folks, we're going to take a break right now, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to listen at your comments. Dice Man, play that song. Take us a break. Folks, welcome back to the podcast. We're going to read your comments right now and see what anything you want to say?
No.
What about you, Richard? Anything you want to say? Well, I got something to say. Lo did read where Adam Jarrett or somebody said something. Why should the City Meridian fire Robert Jones? You should fire Robert Jones because Robert Jones illegally put. Robert Jones have high bonds. He seemed to have doing certain things like such as Anderson. He was the one that followed Tony home, right? And said she was speeding. Now, understand Anderson is a detective and don't even have a speed detection device in his car. But the fact that he fired Tarquez Hobson, the fact that he illegally used, did you know that he was what you call family masters, a type of judge when a chancery court have too many cases, they appoint someone family masters. Robert Jones was appointed into that position September 19th of 2019. Then in October, he filed a motion before Primo. Now, Primo was the one that swore him in, showing the relationship. And then on October of that same year, a month later, he filed for contempt charges for his name to be placed on the NCIC. And how about they done that? And then he illegally, as a judge, he illegally used the NCIC to put Greg Gillian's name on there. And that's illegal. It was illegal for him to do that, so that person should fire him just for that alone. The fact that he ordered that a person with a civil case be placed on the NCIC, just for that alone, he should be fired. And he ain't done. Can you tell me one thing that he's done? Can you tell me the thing that he's done? Well, how about some people? And then look at the thing with the guy that killed Jericho Clark. He was taken in whole nother county. He's probably already out of jail. But see, out of sight, out of mind. Just like an out of mind is the devil workshop. It's just and I think that Donald Trump is doing a lot of firing. It is within his right to do so. But I think personally, if he want to try to keep this job, he should at least show us that he's fearful of us, and I don't think that he is, because they continue to do the same thing. I still ain't heard from anybody on my water yet. My next step is I guess I'll send them a letter tomorrow and say why.
The thing is, Donald Trump firing people because he can't get his way. Personally, no, these folks are doing dirty, ain't doing right. He's scared to get rid of them because they have dirt on Percy. But speaking of the water, you haven't gotten the water for your other building yet. Damn. Percy Blaine, the city council, voted to give Marion Police Department a 2006 Crown Vic for the free, and then giving the Navy base a vehicle for the free.
That's right.
But want to charge you how much for some damn water out there?
And then to tear up their street. What they got, I can't tear it up, but if they tear it up, then they want to charge me. And then if they gonna give me free water, I don't mind. I'll pay for it. But they're not gonna give me free water, and then it's quite high.
But they gave away 2 vehicles for the free.
Yeah, you giving away 2 vehicles, Percy.
They're funded by taxpayer money.
Percy, give me my water. I'm not going to vote for you. I ain't going to lie. I ain't finna play no games like you play and say I'm going to do this and do that. I'm not supportive of you. I'm going to do all I can to fire you next year, send you home. But while you there, you could at least give me some water. I'm going to tell some people what you did to me the other day when you passed by me.
You ever did?
I ain't told them what he did. I told you. I didn't tell them.
Oh, I thought you said it's live the other day.
What did I say? Tell me what I said, Lo. You got a good man. What did I say?
He drove down, I think, 8th Street somewhere. He pulled up on side of you while you was in your Corvette. He smirked at you or something.
Smile. That's what I said, right? Ain't that what I said?
Yeah.
But I didn't tell it all. Percy, I'm going to tell it all if you don't give me my water. Too bad
Tell it
this is not
all.
one of my stories now. I'm going to tell it all, person. You know, when I tell it, I'm going to tell it my way. And too bad going to be all up in my head. I'm going to tell it my way. Okay, Dice, man, go ahead and read us those comments.
All right. We got All Gas, No Brakes. 81 says, good evening.
What up, Covan?
What up?
Marcella Earns says, Trump lost. He got to go.
That's right, Miss Marcella. That's right.
Okay. Adam Jaron says, why you say Robbie Jones need to be fired?
Yeah, I just explained that, and the reason why he need to be fired from doing things, using his bench, using the judiciary bench to promote his own agenda. He represent, now understand that Robbie Jones is a friend to both Tammy and Greg Gillian. And so at first they had Mitchell Thomas out of Union as the lead attorney. Mitchell Thomas got tired of all that mess, folks, and he got out of there, and Robert Jones got so emboldened that he started signing all them petitions himself. So he actually signed the order himself while he just got made family masters. That's a judge in the state of Mississippi. When if you go before a person that's acting as family masters, he's actually a judge. But in Chancery Court, and in Robert Jones' case, it's Clark and Lauderdale County. And meaning that he can deal with divorce petitions and child support petitions. And the fact that he's a judge, he should have recused himself. And the fact as a judge, he ordered that man and his dad's name placed on the NCIC to be picked up by anyone. When you on the NCIC, folks, you can be killed. My name was on there. Boy, I have my mom, she's not here. Miss Ho have cried about this son right here. And one time I was afraid to go in the post office. It's a horrible feeling for you to know you wanted by someone, or you can come into a city and you can't expect justice. We don't expect that from our judges. We expect our judges to be above the law and to actually be unseen, to be unbiased. But our judges here are not like that. And these two in particular are in cahoots together. One promoted the other one, and then the other one put in the order, and the other one signed it. Now understand that they refused to place the Gillian, both Keith and Greg Gillian name on the NCIC in Lauderdale County. Solid wouldn't do it. And Primo got mad at him for that. Robert Jones just go down there and tell his secretary to do it and put that man on the NCIC. And that man got picked up, and that caused the FBI to get involved, folks. And yes, I told y'all before, I did call the FBI, and folks, I'll tell y'all again too, is that I did put another judiciary performance complaint against both of those judges because of that. Once it became to my attention that Robert Jones was a family masters judge, he had no business. It's unethical and illegal for him to represent either Tammy or Greg Gillian on the case. Definitely illegal for him to place the name on the NCIC. Percy, you know this, and you still got that man down there. You get somebody else, they're going to lick your ass and do what you want them to do. But go ahead, Dice.
Okay. Penny Holt says the fat lady has sung, and she is saying it's over. Hit the road, Trump.
That's what I'm talking about, Miss Penny.
And don't you go back no more. Hit the road, Jack. In this case, Trump.
Okay. Joanne Holt says, good evening, just tuning in.
What up, Joe?
Sis, did y'all cook today?
Yeah, they cook every day.
No, they don't cook every day. They don't cook
Waffle,
on Monday.
chicken and waffle?
Joanne, they cook every day?
They didn't cook Monday.
No,
didn't
not
cook
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Tuesday through, Saturday or Sunday.
But Joanne, this is what I'm going to say to y'all. Now, it ain't that much to throw some chicken in that grill back there in the kitchen. Put some chicken up there and sell, even when he ain't there, sell some chicken anyway. Folks going to buy it.
Okay. Felicia Brown says, hello, you guys. Eddie, Lolo, Dice, and the guests. You all tell the truth.
What up, Felicia?
Hey, Felicia.
Thank you.
And that's Richard.
Okay.
Richard.
All right. Dolores Holt says, good evening, Dice Man, Lolo, and Gray. Back in 2016, Hillary Clinton had the popular vote. Trump had the electoral college. Clinton did the honorable thing and did not contest it.
And I agree.
That's
hey,
right.
Dolores. Y'all heard that last name, Holt, like in Eddie Holt. That was my first wife. It wasn't her fault too, but I wouldn't do right.
Okay.
God's still working with me. Hey, Brenda.
Okay, Annette Martin says hello.
Hey,
What up,
Annette.
Miss Martin?
Hey there, Miss Martin. Dolores Holt also says Trump tried to stir up trouble with Iran but yet he tried to pull troops out of the surrounding area. Proud
Afghanistan.
military veteran.
Said 15,000 he pulling out.
Afghanistan and Iraq, dropping it down to 2,500 each. And I think what he's trying to do, if he can start a war, he can maybe create some kind of, hey, I'm the commander-in-chief now. But, you know, Commander, we change out, you know, generals get killed on the battlefield. You can go back and Google all that, and they change them out. So, you know, Grant wasn't the first general for the North, but he was the last one. He won that war. So, Donald Trump start a war if you want to. Joe Biden going to finish it.
Okay. Nominal Trajectory says, check out what Candace Owens has to say. She makes a lot of sense.
That clown, please.
What did Candace Owens have to say?
Not a damn thing. That's a Trump supporter. That's a black ignorant bitch.
Okay. Okay. Tristan B. Hampton says, hello, great people.
What up, Tristan?
Hey, Tristan.
Ms. Hampton. Dominique Jenkins says, yes, water is high. I agree.
Too high. It needs to come down.
Okay. I'll go down a little bit here. All right. Sammy Franklin says, Dice, I enjoyed the song during the break. Very appropriate. Thank you, Ms. Franklin. Mary Turner says, school system need to change, but some of the parents need to step up.
Yeah.
That's
Teaching
true.
starts at home.
Yeah.
And let me rebut that a little bit. I got to say this about that. What about you understand that Meridian Public School had a prison pipeline for forever, and a lot of those parents have children now, and they don't know it. They didn't know it because they didn't learn it. They have situations where they sending our children to alternative school, and alternative school doesn't really educate, has not been educating our children, not the school system here. So not only, no, parents do need to do the part, but responsible parents are already doing their part. Those that are not doing don't know how and can't do. That's the reason why we need to implement programs in this community, after school programs for our children, so that they can you should not have to be a member of the Boys and Girls Club in order to be able to go to Velma Young, but Velma Young cannot house everybody. So we need to start after-school programs that'll teach our children, tutor our children, and bring them to that next level. But we need to start by educating our children from day one. We got to have qualified teachers in place, certified qualified teachers, and that means they got to get paid the right amount of money, and we got to have after-school programs. We just cannot get around that.
Okay, Kevin Boyd says, Percy needs to stop pimping us on this high water bill. The smart thing to do is transfer that 2% that we are paying for the Max building and put it towards the damaged water system.
That's a very good idea, Kevin. Kevin, perhaps you should run for city council, and I say that not in jest. I say that in all sincerity. I know your pedigree. I know your grandmother. I know your mom, I know your dad, and I know your grandfather, and I know all your family. So I think you should run. I think you'll be a great asset to the city of Meridian, especially the way you're thinking. I know where you live, so I think you'll be great. And I know who your karate teacher was.
You?
That's right. You know I had to get that in there.
What area of town he live?
I think in 4.
4. Mr. Boyd, why won't you
It
run?
might be 3.
Why won't you run, Mr. Boyd?
Where's that Westgate? Unless he don't move. Westgate. That area there?
Westgate.
Westgate off State Boulevard.
Yeah, that's Fannie. 3.
That'll be good.
Okay. Kevin Boyd also says that itself will put a stop on us paying a higher bill, period.
If our governing authority would just govern, they're not doing that. Only thing they're doing is just sitting there just voting for things, and some of them ain't even got sense enough to read up on it and understand it or know what it is. You got some of them been there forever, some of them been there at least 7 years. Fanny should know. She should know.
I think some of them accept the brown bag, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Money bag.
that's right. That's right. I think they all are, except for Western. It will point to that.
Because they know what be going on. They just play dumb.
Yeah.
They just play dumb.
Okay. Joanne Holt says, in reference to that food, Tuesday through Saturdays.
Yes.
When they had that food.
Off 2 days.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening. Lord, what you got to tell the folks before we close out?
I'll tell you what I got to tell the folks. This past Sunday, there was a church right here on 8th Street giving out hot dogs and T-shirts and whatnot. And I guess a passerby passed by and told Percy Bland about it. What about Percy came and he stayed for about 2 minutes. He leave, and guess who come after he leave? Chris Reed. with them toys, them cheap-ass toys, giving them kids them cheap-ass toys. And you got people around here dodging bullets.
Yeah, and
trying to stay alive, and he is playing with people, politicking with these cheap-ass toys.
And you talking about, wasn't it dude, was that Barbara Hardy's son that got killed? We hadn't heard anything about that. How did he die? I'm told that he hung himself, and I'm told that they killed him. You know, the young man that escaped from police custody.
Devon Hardy. Chris Reed, how did he die? Because ain't nobody talking to the family.
Well,
I think his mom stayed on 5th Street, or in between 5th Street and 7th Street.
Yeah, we want to know. We want to talk about that. Well, people, we did get a few phone calls from people about the pyramid scheme, but you know the pyramid scheme died out. I'm told that everybody, such as Scotty Cole, has stopped doing it, and a lot of people are paying folks their money back. It's a good thing, and some of you have not received your money back. I suggest you call the person up, and if that don't work, then call Lolo up.
I tell you what you do, instead of calling me up, how about the accuser, the person that's being accused, and the accuser come on this show, and y'all sit across one another and discuss that.
Yeah, that would be good. Richard, how's everything going with you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, Dice man, anything you got to say?
Yeah, I just want to say before we get off the air, I want everybody to go and once again check those links out. Well, it's very important to me that the people get the information, and I'll give you guys a prime example. I was trying to think of something that could kind of give you an idea where I'm coming from with this. Now, Bruh Holt, I know you know better than anybody else. Am I the type of person who would walk off in a bank and rob it?
No, okay. You would not do that.
Neither would I.
You know my character,
yeah,
right?
I know your character.
Okay. If they took my picture and reported on the news, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, tonight, that I walked in and robbed a bank, killed somebody, would the people believe it?
The people would, but I wouldn't, because I know better.
Right. So my point in that is, it can happen to anybody. It's just how powerful the media is. So when they put something up, the people don't care whether you did it or didn't do it. The people are going to eat it up. And I will say this for everybody with this Donald Trump thing. I implore you to go back, look for yourself, and remember the scenario I just gave you. Because if we've been tricked, and I really believe we got played with this, if we've been tricked by the media, then we're on the wrong path, and that's all that matters to me. I have no reason to take up for him, as you said, because he doesn't need me to take up for him.
That's right.
You know, I've always voted Democrat, but even now, even in future elections, I won't be voting just Democrat. It's about who's going to get the job done. That's the type of freedom we as black people need to have.
How about that's what I've done, and I think I voted Republican at times, and times I voted independent, and other times I wrote in a candidate because I didn't like either one. So I've done that, and I exercised that right. And I still say that the Democratic Party has knocked us around. They have, but when you look at, if I got to figure out what poison to take, then I'm going to take the one that's going to give me a slow death as opposed to the one that killed me instantly. And I say it that is that the Republican Party, they have done some good things. A lot of the things that are supposed to be okay for us, it took bipartisan support for that. Just like the stimulus bill. It took everybody to sign that. And so, you know, in saying that, I'm right now.
But look how they benefit. Look how the Republican benefit for it. Yeah. Them company. That's the reason why they went along with that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the reason why.
Well, they the only one
because they cared about us.
That's right, because all that money goes back to them.
Look how the money they get.
To them, yeah. That's the reason why they.
Well, let me say this though. You notice that he pointed out just 2 news sites when he said, "You take my picture and say I robbed a bank." He never said anything about Newsmax, right? So the people with integrity, what y'all do is instead of looking at that, clicking on that link that Dice have for y'all, go on my Facebook page. You go on YouTube and look at the Ashley debate. Don't listen to those soundbites. Listen at the Ashley debate. I watched the debate, so I know exactly what Trump said out of his mouth.
Well, you missed the whole point. It wasn't about those. I could have said MSNBC. I could have said Newsmax, NTD.
But you skipped Newsmax. So
my thing is for the people to get the information. That's it.
Yeah, and I want to say this. I want to send my condolences out to the Waters family and
Yeah.
Angela Young, man. Angela Young,
Yeah,
too,
wow.
but you know her. She passed today, right, Lo?
She passed away.
Yeah. Wow,
I saw it
man.
on Facebook.
Yeah, and so my condolences to the Young family and all of you out there that have lost loved ones. You know, the Mercer Ball family. You know,
And we
all
just
of
saw
you.
we just saw Angela.
Yeah.
When was that? It was this year, a few months ago. When we did the
Protest.
march from the city hall to the police department. She was there.
Going over that bridge ain't no joke, folks. If y'all want to get
No,
in
I
shape,
drove.
walk over that bridge. Lord, man, I'm talking about that bridge. How you leaning, boy, when you get to the top. Man, it would take your breath. I want to say that, and I want to say a couple other things that I wanted to say too. Oh yeah, about Lil Wayne. You see how Lil Wayne been indicted, right, Lo?
Ooh, he in jail, y'all. Now this right here happened last year on the plane with a firearm, knowing darn well your ass a convicted felony. So they finally trapped him today, locked him up today for that gun, being in possession of a firearm on the airplane.
I guess.
Wonder if Trump gonna save his old tail from the crypt looking ass.
If Trump would have won re-election, he wouldn't be in jail. Guarantee you, because Donald Trump mad.
Speaking of Donald Trump, why he talking about pardoning himself and pardoning his family? That letting you know he done something illegal.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
No, folks, I'm just gonna tell you, I would too. I would too. Y'all just have to be mad at me. I just gonna tell
So that
the
lets
truth.
you know that his hands not clean.
Yeah,
He talking about pardoning himself and his family.
I would too. I ain't gonna even, I'm just telling you the truth.
That's the reason why he lying about the election. He know he lost.
I would pardon my whole damn family, everything they might have did, and anything that you can come up with in the future, including myself, because it says it doesn't, it's not limited. It's just like he don't have to concede. He don't have to do anything. They just been doing that as a courtesy, but he don't have to do any of them things for Biden. He don't have to intelligent briefing or anything. He don't have to do it, folks.
I won't listen to Trump no way. He's dumb as hell. I won't want to listen to him anyway.
Folks, I'm glad he gone. If he won't take these last to January the 20th to be a president and do whatever he want to do and pardon his family, his dog, and all his friends and everybody been in trouble for having him, that's what I would do. Because if Dice was with me, you was with me, and you was with me, and hey, I'm getting ready to go out and I can fix it so that you guys won't get in trouble, I would do that. I wouldn't have Two Belt. Don't say nothing. I'd pardon you too. I pardon you too, Miss Two Belt.
That's the first time in history they ever been done.
But
That's the first time in history
I guarantee you they gonna be the last time. Guarantee you they, because Donald Trump, God done made two of everything. So it's another Donald Trump out there, and I'm Donald. I share a lot of his views. I'm just telling the truth. I ain't finna talk too much on here, but I love that thing about not letting people know about your income. Most people like that. Shit. Don't come messing with me, Donald Trump. Hell no, I ain't vote for you. Don't come messing with me.
You hear the echo there in my ear?
With that.
He agreeing with that right there. Dice agreeing with that.
Yeah.
He agreeing with not paying your
You
taxes.
know what I thought you were going to tell me? I thought you were going to tell me Two Belt talking to you.
Yeah. But you know what? Donald Trump just had to accept, Dice, you just had to accept that 78 million people judge Trump not because of his color, but the content of his character.
And I got to say this too, is that it's always fearful when you watching an election or you being involved in any kind of election, because you don't never know what they planning. Mm-hmm. And the Truth Master said this all the time. If people involved in it, it can be controlled and manipulated. True. And so I'm always fearful of what's going to happen. I was thinking maybe the same thing that happened before. Those 5 days waiting for Donald Trump, for Biden to go to past 270, man, I was like on pins and needles. But even so, being on pins and needles because I wanted my candidate to win, and that was Joseph Biden. But had he lost, I still would be feeling the same way, because life for us is not going to change right here on this level, not even for the state of Mississippi, because the people that benefit is like he said, their family, their friends, and everybody they know benefit for whoever's in office. Look at Person. Person just a microcosm of everything at large.
The thing is, Gray, about, there's improvement for all parties, but what the Democrats here on a local level need to do, what they need to realize is, when they go out there and vote for somebody, they get mad when things not going their way. When a candidate come to your house and knock on your door and ask for your support, your job as a voter is to make sure you hold that candidate foot to the fire.
That's right.
Your job is not to just throw up your hand and say, I'm not going to vote anymore. That's when we lose. That's when we lose.
And I gotta say this is that the problem we've been having in this community here is wolves in sheep clothing, and I say that to mean that you have Republicans that are running as Democrats, because the Democrats doesn't do what Percy Bland did, and you can see Republicans doing that everywhere. But you don't see the Democrats doing it. Yes, you have some Democrats doing that, and a lot of times Democrats become complacent, meaning that they do what they want to do, or they take the brown bag. And if they're taking the brown bag, then we as a citizen in this community and every other community suffer from that.
See, the thing is, Percy Bland is a Republican that ran on a Democratic ticket because he knew majority of the citizens inside the city limit are the only people that can vote with the mayor and city council election. That's it. That's the reason why he ran on the Democratic ticket.
Well,
because
Percy,
he didn't stand a chance run as a Republican.
Well, Percy, you've been doing everything for Republicans. Yeah. So you need to run as a Republican and see if they're going to take you in like we've taken you in. But I know you ain't got the courage to do that. Folks, I want to thank y'all for listening.
Before you end the show, I heard Scotty Cole was running for mayor. That was told to me when I was sitting in the car before I came inside the building tonight.
Well, I'm going to say this to you, Scotty. Now, you know what I said last week. So we got Scotty Cole. Now, we already knew that when didn't he get in a hearse or something like that?
He took the casket on the east side of town.
Took the casket on the east side of town. And then he started a pyramid scheme. Scotty, you'll be the first mayor-elect that we have that benefited from a pyramid scheme. But you know, I'm going to say this to you, Scotty Cole. If you want to run for office, I want to encourage you to run. But people, this is what I want to say. Don't just vote for a person just to be voting for. You need to vote for a person based on their qualifications and what you think that they're going to do. A lot of people out there have already demonstrated to you what they will do and what they're able to do, such as Weston Linderman. See there, I said it right, Weston Linderman. It's Western, not Western. Okay. I'm kind of self-conscious about that. He's shown that, low. He's shown that he's been consistent throughout. And it's just like Kim Barney Houston. She's been consistent also in her lack of care, not doing anything, and basically doing everything the mayor wanted him to do. And Kim you had an opportunity to launch an investigation into police corruption. You didn't do that, and now you want us to make you mayor? Wow, that'll be too much power for you then. You have one vote now, but you have 3 other people that are voting like you. But I just say to this is, Kim, you need to go home. Fanny, you need to go home. George, you need to go home. Dwayne Davis, you need to go home too. I'm just telling you, because you guys are not doing anything. We don't care. Now, you know what her name? The lady that they want to name Velma Young after. What's her name?
Miss Polly.
Yeah, Miss Polly Heidelberg. You know what? We should name a lot of things after that lady, not just one thing. We have so many things around here named after people. And I'm going to give you some examples, such as QV Sight, who had never done anything. He did more as a coach for whatever school he worked in. I think he worked at a county school or something like that. But he was a coach.
Carver.
QV Sykes? I know Mr. Sykes was there. Was it both of them was there? Okay, well, I'm going to accept that. I don't know. But he hadn't done anything for us as a supervisor. He didn't do anything. I don't know anything he did. Nothing. Harvard Carnegie never did anything, but he got Carnegie Drive. Obie Clark never did anything. I don't care who don't like it. He never did anything. He was an informant. For the Sovereign Commission, he reported directly to Chief Gunn in the 1960s. I know that because I read it with my own eyes, and I'll go to my grave saying that. But you got a street named after him. So, and then we got Martin Luther King, who did a lot, and we got just a little small avenue. We did have more things named after him, such as high schools and things like that. Before it's honoring people that hadn't done anything in this community. Wow, we need to definitely have something for Miss Polly Heidelberg. We need to have an avenue named after her. We need to have a section of the interstate named after her. Well, we got a lot of stuff named after Stennis. Man, he was the one. Didn't he defend? No, that was Mike Watkins that defended the people that killed the civil rights worker. Mike Watkins did that, but you got the juvenile center named after him, and then you got the Watkins Memorial Hospital. So we need to stop honoring people that's adverse, but we need to start honoring people that actually done things in this community. How about Roscoe Jones? How about we change Obie Clark Boulevard to Roscoe Jones Avenue? Because Roscoe Jones, he was a teenager when those guys was here, and he was the president of the youth branch of the NAACP. And he was one of the first black officers from around here. That is enough for us to name a street after him. So we can go on and on and on. But how about we in this program? Lo, what you got to say?
Let me ask you this. Why come everything about Roscoe Jones is what Roscoe Jones saying about himself? I don't hear anybody else saying anything
But
about
you can
Roscoe
read
Jones.
it. You can read it. And plus, I grew up with him and I saw it.
But I'm saying it's basically him saying it by himself. But let's get back. I ain't trying to hold dice up, but getting back to QV site, I think that baseball field was named after QV site. If I'm not mistaken, he the one that given them the field. It was his.
That field.
Yeah.
The land or something?
He had owned that
If
land,
he
if I'm not
got-
mistaken.
if he got-
I think it used to be a pastor or something like that. He
If he
giving
get-
it to the county.
If he got that land, he got the same way Jimmy Smith got his.
How's that?
Jimmy Smith owned that building downtown. And so Head Start got their office in there. Jimmy Smith owned that building and he collect rent from that.
Mm-hmm.
While he was a supervisor, you get things given to you and sold to you real cheap so that you can benefit from it. QV Sykes ain't own that. He didn't own that property out there. Them white folks out there own all that.
If I'm not mistaken, it was owned by his family. If I'm not mistaken, he giving it to the county.
That might be true, folks. I don't know. So I ain't gonna even do no research on that. We just gonna say that's true. That still ain't enough, in my opinion, for them to be naming things after him. He ain't done that in his community. We don't benefit from that out there. They do. We don't. We don't benefit from anything. Everything we get, they want to tear it down. You want to tear down our history? We don't want any more our history torn down. Matter of fact, we want to rebuild our history.
Person benefit from QV site. He had the people from Alabama
Yeah.
come here, the traveling baseball team, have them tournament, make up in $1,000. Don't know how many thousand going in Percy pocket.
And they put events on out there, but our children are not able to do anything
Absolutely
out
not.
there. And then what, they got a soccer thing out there that I ain't never seen. They might have some little black kids that play soccer, but I ain't
Probably about one.
But I ain't
About
when
one
I go
black
out there,
child.
all I see is all white out there. But see,
About
the thing
one.
of it is, and I'm not picking on white folks. I'm just saying it's things that we need done in this community for ourselves.
I mean, even the white folks that listen to this live know. Listen to this podcast. Actually, know you're telling the truth.
Yeah. Anything you want to say, Richard?
What I would like to say is this. To me, I look at it as older blacks, especially us men. We're not willing to put our money out front to help us. And then we sit back and cry and complain. You have money every month. You're not doing anything with it but partying and playing with it. Why don't you put your money to work to build up your own community? What you need. You're going to spend the money anyway. Spend the money on your children, your community, and make something work.
And I can agree with that. And it might take a group of people to do that. But again, it points to leadership. Why should we're paying taxes, we're paying a high water bill, gas bill, and all. Why should we take our money that we're going to use to give to our children when we're dead, or to do whatever we want to do with it, and fix up a community that's neglecting us but building up other parts of the community? And I understand what you're saying, that we should. How about those same people? Most of you not voting out there. We need to start voting. We can do better. And all we got to do is start voting. There's no excuse for anyone not to vote. Dice? Any more comments?
No, that's it.
Low?
Nothing else. I'm good.
Richard?
That's it.
Folks, I want to thank y'all for listening in. 50 cents is full of shit. But y'all have a good day. Dice man, take us home.